Hey, what's up, everybody? Marcos Villegas for Fight Up TV, being joined with Danny Garcia, who has a few news updates for us. He has a show coming up this weekend, June 15th. Danny, you're throwing your hat in the promoter game.
Yeah, definitely. It's always been a dream of mine, and I feel like right now is the perfect time for me to start my own promotion.
So why was right now the perfect time? Because I know a lot of fans are asking, hey, Danny, when are you getting back in the ring? We want to see you back.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I want to be back too, but right now it's not that simple. Boxing is taking a change. So right now you just got to kind of wait, and then when your opportunity comes, stay ready. Like I've been doing, I'm just staying in the gym, just mentally, physically prepared, and when the time comes, I'll be ready. But for now, I got to stay active, keep my name in the game, keep my head in the game, and try something new.
You said it's not that simple. What's happening? Why is it not that simple?
But the Showtime thing, remember Showtime was my home in boxing for like the last 10 years. And then, PBC did the Fox, they did the CBS, they did different things. Like I was playing on different networks, but I guess I'm a PBC fighter. And right now, they don't have a schedule. They're just basically doing one fight at a time. That's what it looks like. So there's no I don't think there's no date after the Gervonta Davis fight. You might know, but I don't know. Um, so right now it just looks like it's just a timing thing. That's it. And that's what boxing's always been about. Boxing's always been about timing, waiting for your time to shine, and when it comes, take advantage of it. And that's pretty much it. It's just a game of timing and patience.
I know you're really close to Al. Have you had a chance to just call him and be like, "Yo, Al, when am I getting back in there? Like, what's going on? Like, I need a date."
And definitely, I spoke to him a few times, but there's a few things on my side too that right now that I wasn't really in the rush to get back in the ring. Like my girl just gave birth to our third child. Angel was a little sick. A lot of people don't know. He's doing better now, but he was a little sick, so I wasn't really pressed to get back in the ring like ASAP. You know what I mean? But hopefully everything smoothens out and I'll be back in there. But mentally and physically, I'm ready to fight. It's just the timing wasn't right in my life for me to, like mentally 100% to get back in the ring.
Well, congratulations. I know you had another child, like you mentioned. I saw the post, a baby boy. So congrats on that. You said your dad was sick. What was wrong with your dad? I'm glad to hear he's okay, but what was wrong?
Well, I never said this, but he was in the gym, he was hitting the bag and stuff. He kind of had like a dizzy spell. So I think he had like a little smart, like a minor stroke.
Oh no.
Yeah, but he's doing okay though. He's doing fine. He's great. Nothing happened to him. He was just like, he was pushing himself too hard in the gym and it was hot. And that's what happened.
Mm. Well, I'm glad he's okay. I love your dad. You know,
Yeah,
I love your dad. Your dad cracks me up, and
right.
like I miss talking to your dad also as well. So that's the other part. It's like we need you back in the ring, Danny. Like, come on.
Yeah, I know. I want to fight. I want to fight, but like I said, right now it's just a timing thing, patience. I'm not getting any younger, but I'm also not damaging my body. And I feel like boxing is different these days. Like before, like 35, you consider old in boxing. If you look at all the top fighters right now, I mean, Usyk's 37 years old. Tyson Fury, what, 36, 37. So Terrence Crawford, Lomachenko, and I feel like I'm cuffing that clause. We all came up together. So I feel like fighters could fight a little bit older than before because of the matchmaking and how boxing is today. They don't let fighters get hurt. The matches are a lot more even. It's not 15 rounds like back in the day. So I feel like boxing is a lot different now. And if you take care of your body and I mean, look at Manny Pacquiao. He won a world title. He beat Keith Thurman when he was 40. So boxing is different these days. To me, I feel like, and when I'm in the gym, I still feel the same. I don't even feel like I lost a step. So it's just right now, it's just patience. That's it. Got to be patient in this game.
Yeah, it's crazy because Manny Pacquiao, they're talking about maybe he has a potential fight with Mario Barrios for the WBC title at 147. I got this question a lot to ask you, Danny. A lot of people on our social media, and they want to know, I think I know what you're going to say because of what you just said right now, how you feel young still, but how many more fights do you see yourself in?
You know, to be honest, when I fought Benavidez in 2022, my mindset was, you know what? I'm gonna fight in 2023. I'm gonna fight in 2024, and let me see what I want to do. You know, but I didn't. I never had them. So basically, 2 years went past that fast. It's crazy, and so my plans didn't really go how I wanted to go, because I wanted to fight Laura and win that middleweight title, and then come back, and get like a mega fight. Um, can you still see me?
Yeah, I can still see you.
Okay, so somebody's calling me. Yeah, I want to do like a mega fight in 20, like around this time, but it didn't go as planned. So I don't know. Let's see how I feel. I'll fight again, and I feel great. I do another one, but if not, then I just retire.
Mm. Would you be happy?
But
Like, yeah,
I don't think about retirement because I feel like I'm still a fighter. You know what I mean? But I know you can't fight forever. And I'm not even going out sorry. The bank is loaded, so the risk got to be worth the reward. But
mm.
at the end of the day, I'm still a fighter, and it's what I do.
Yeah, like in terms of those mega fights, like what's a mega fight for you? Who's a mega fight opponent for you?
That's what I'm saying right now. Right now, I have to get a fight. I have to build it into that.
Mm.
For me to I mean, I got a big name, so I have to come back and fight anybody. And I think once they start promoting and everything, it'll be a big fight. But I want to fight and then do a big fight for my like grand finale, something like that, like in a perfect world. But for me to just say anything right now, it don't even matter. You know what I mean? I want to be active and be able to say what I want to do. Right now, I just be saying anything for no reason.
You know, I got this question a lot also to ask you. A lot of fans are saying, "Hey, Danny, why have you been inactive?" You mentioned, just timing just wasn't right, but a lot of people have noted too, like, "Hey, has it all been in your mind to?" And even if you could clear this up, your status, you're still signed with PBC? Are you a free agent? And to add to that, people have asked, Danny, have you thought about signing with a different promoter that can keep you active?
Not, I'm just the way I was built. My love is loyalty. I like Al Haymon put millions of dollars in my pocket, and just because it slowed down a little bit, like I'm gonna leave because it's not. But when I was active, it was great. Everybody was making money, everybody's happy. But when it slows down a little bit, people turn their back, and that's just not how I'm built. Just because it slowed down a little bit, don't mean I'm just gonna turn my back and go sign with somebody else. That's not the way I was raised or how I was brought up. You know what I mean? Maybe that's how other people are. They just chase the money, but all money ain't good money. Sometimes you might sign to another promoter, they just gonna set you up. I'd rather just stay where I know is home and we got some type of bond, some type of loyalty that we're all gonna be on the same page when it comes to fight night. And that's just how I am. Now, if Al Heyman brought me something like, "Hey, Danny, I think this is good for you," and he thinks it's good, then I'm gonna do it. I mean, he's the best in the business. So, my loyalty is to him, to Al Heyman.
Yeah, no, we've seen fighters that have, gone to other promoters, but they still have Al advising them when it is, like you mentioned, good for the
Yeah.
fighter. And I had a feeling you would answer that. Like you just following your career, you seem like you're a very, very loyal guy, regardless of what's going on.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, everything just has to make sense. I'm not that type of guy. That's not my character. Just because when it slows down a little bit, I'm gonna turn my back and go chase somewhere else for some, for some money. At the end of the day, I never really did it for the money. I mean, it's great. Of course, you want to feed your family stuff, but at the end of the day, you want to win. That's the most important thing to me is winning. I just want to win, and I want to be good. Because sometimes I made a lot of money, I forgot to pick up my check. because I was so happy to win. So I just feel like in this game you can't chase the money because that's when bad things happen. You just start doing anything for money. That's not how I am.
A few more fan questions for you, Danny. We got a ton of them, but I'll get to a few where it's not overwhelming for you. One is you're promoting this fight this weekend, but it's also on the same day as Gervonta versus Frank Martin. Have you
Yeah,
been keeping
yeah.
abreast on how Tank has looked, how Frank has looked, and how do you see that fight, and how do you think it'll play out, and who wins?
Well, I think it's a good fight, but I just feel like, in my personal opinion, um, I like Frank Martin. He's a great guy. He's trained hard. He probably does deserve this moment. But I just feel like it's a little bit too soon for him. Just a little bit too soon because he hasn't been really tested. Kind of like how Rolly was a little bit too soon. Garcia was a little bit too soon. And I feel like Garcia actually learned off that fight, and that's why he was able to beat Devin Haney because he was tested. And he said, you know what, this level is not that bad. Maybe I just beat myself. And I just think it's a little bit too soon for Frank Martin. I may be wrong, but I think Gervonta Davis is going to win.
Mm. Do you think he wins in a fairly competitive fight? Do you think he blows out Frank Martin? Do you think he knocks him out?
I don't know. I just see Gervonta Davis as the winner. That's it.
You mentioned those three opponents, and maybe it would have been a little too soon. What do you make of the matchmaking for Gervonta at this point of his career, in your opinion?
I think it's good. I mean, he beat some good guys. I mean, he beat Pitbull. And as you can see, Pitbull's not an easy guy to beat. And how even that matchup was showed how strong both of those guys were. So, the Pitbull win, the Rolly win. Rolly's not, he's an awkward guy with punching power. Ryan Garcia, speed and power. And then, yeah, I think those are three great wins. I think those are great wins. Those are top tier wins.
Now, I remember your post fights after the Benavidez victory, and you had a lot to just get off your chest. You were very open about the anxiety issues that you have, the mental health issues that you had. Is that all sorted now, Danny? Like you're good now?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Time heals all wounds. It was just that was just like my life, all in piled up one moment. I just need the time to just let my brain rest. It was a lot of pressure on me since a kid. And that's what pretty much it was, just over the years, just like building up pressure, just being the strong person in your family, and it's just burst like a bubble. But I feel good now. And that's why I think I looked so good that night, is because I finally realized who I was, like, outside of the ring. And it made me I was able to train happy. I was able to be happy.
Who are you outside of the ring, Danny? That's interesting. Like, what was going on there that just made you kind of like let go of that weight, let go of that pressure?
Just basically um making sure I was happy before other people was happy. Sometimes when you're the person in your family who helps everybody, they forget to ask you if you're okay. Because you are the person who's changing your family. So everybody looks at you for advice. And sometimes I was putting other people's happiness in front of mine. And one day I was just like, you know what, I can't do this no more. I got to be happy. And I just started putting my happiness first, and my life changed.
Yeah, man.
You can't be afraid to let certain things go. You know what I mean? So that's just one thing about me, is like I always been attached to things. Like I always been attached to certain things in my life. Like I'll buy a car, I'll never get rid of it. And I probably should have been got rid of it. Or I buy a property and the value go up 3 times, and I can make a lot of money, but I'm just attached to it. Just same thing with people. I get attached to people and I just don't want to let them out my life. You know what I mean? And I think one thing I learned is that I have to just start just letting things go, even if it's gonna hurt. You know what I mean? And that's how it is.
In any way, does that kind of reflect to you as a fighter? Like you have this picture of, hey, I'm Danny Garcia, unified at 140, top pound for pound guy. Um, you have that picture, and then it's like you haven't fought in a while, and is it like at all kind of clash with you? Like, damn, like I'm this guy, but like I can't show what I am or was anymore because it's just not the right timing and any of that.
Um, I'm not I'm not too sure of your question. Like, what do you mean?
Like, like for instance, say you have they have that saying, once a champion, always a champion. But like when a
Yeah,
fighter takes the first loss, it's like it's a very hard for them, a very hard thing for them to process. Where like I don't know if
yeah.
your guys' identity is tied towards, I'm this undefeated champion, and then when like a loss happens or setback happens, it's kind of hard to process that because you have that in your mind, and it puts a lot of pressure, a lot of weight because that's what you've tied your identity to.
I never tied myself to being undefeated or losing. I never I never said, you know what, I'm gonna be undefeated to the end. I just wanted to fight the best fighters. And of course, when I lost that first time to Thurman, it was split decision, and I thought I did enough to win. Man, I felt like somebody died in my family. That's how bad I took that loss. Like I felt every day I woke up, it was just like I just felt like depressed because I just never thought I'd see myself losing. And I knew that was a big fight. That would have made me unified in two different divisions back to back. And so, but nah, like losing didn't change me because I knew that. As you can see, I came back and then I knocked out Brandon Rios, and then I went on to fight bigger fights in my career. It didn't change me, but it just taught me about at the end of the day, you got to learn how to separate your personal life from the sport of boxing. At the end of the day, it's just a sport, and that's how you got to look at it. Because if you base the boxing off your happiness, you will never be happy, even your bad sparring days or days you just don't feel good. You're gonna feel sad. You just got to learn how to separate. You know what? I never want to lose, but if it does happen, then it's just a sport. Ain't nothing you can do about it. Life goes on.
Oh yeah, man, life does go on. That's very, very true. Because I've just noticed observing like that. Sometimes athletes have a hard time separating those two things, where they tie their identity to what they were, and then when they're not as active or they retire, they have a really hard time compensating for that because their identity is tied to their athletic endeavors, and they struggle with that when they're not active anymore or they're retired.
Yeah. So I mean I can understand because it's like um when you become the best at what you do, you always got that competitive nature, and that's what I think gets you frustrated. It's like I know I could be in there and I know I could beat that guy. You know what I mean? Like so you watch boxing and you kind of get like I can't explain it. It's just like this feeling you get where it's like you get like frustrated because you know that's what you are, but you can't do it right now. You understand? Or it's just like that's why fighters fight to their. I mean, look at Bernard. A lot of fighters fight till they can't fight no more because that's who they are. They're fighters. No matter. I mean, look at Floyd still doing exhibitions. Manny Pacquiao's coming back. George Foreman fought till he was 50. I don't know. That's who you are. You're a fighter, and I never understood why. How can you have millions of dollars and still want to keep fighting? What's the point? And it's because that's who you are. That's your purpose. You were brought to this earth to fight. And without it, you don't feel who you are. And that's why a lot of fighters get depressed or athletes get depressed when they can't do it no more. It's because one thing you can't beat is time. Age is undefeated. Time is undefeated. And that's when you have to learn. And that's when you have to, Oscar De La Hoya, he's still in the game doing promotion. He's still loving it. He's living through other fighters. He's building guys. And I think that's the way you can actually keep your head in the game, like what I'm trying to do with my promotion. You know, who knows? I can't be like the next Golden Boy in 15 years or 10 years.
So to piggyback off of that, AL77738 wanted to ask you, and it was more of a comment. Danny would love to see a massive card with you and Boots one day in Philly.
Like me versus Boots,
No, no. Well, that was
or
the
me
other
and him.
card, but just you and Boots are
Oh,
included in a card.
oh, oh yeah, yeah. I would love to be. I would love to be on the same card as Boots. You know what I mean? He's a champion. I'm the legend from Philly, and that would be great. You know. But as far as me and him fighting, I don't ever want to fight another Philadelphia fighter. You know, I got nothing but respect for him and his pops, and it's always been a mutual love. I used to go down to his gym when I was a kid and watch and spar all his guys in Bosie's dungeon. So you know, it's always been love. But for me, my is the people who I don't know.
Yeah, he's having his homecoming in July, but you're also having this card in June. Is that your plan to stage a lot more fights in Philadelphia? Because I feel like the fan base there is there. Like it's a sports town, and there hasn't been
Yeah,
boxing for a long time.
yeah, it's crazy because I think he's like the first world title fight in years. I don't even remember because I remember when I won the title against Guerrero, my next fight was in Philly, and it was supposed to be a world title fight. But I guess WBC didn't approve my opponent, so it was a non-title fight. And that was supposed to be like the first world title fight in years in Philly. But I think he's like the first one. I don't even know who's the last one. And I think it's great. Like, you know, that's how you build a star in your hometown. If you want to be a star in your hometown, you gotta do the homecoming big. You know, at the Wells Fargo Center. So they have a great plan for him. And I think what they're doing with him is gonna be great.
Yeah, very interesting to see what they are going to do with him, but it does look like it's going to be a lot more fights in Philadelphia for him, which is good. You want to build that base in your hometown. Danny, in terms of you promoting, man, how many more fights do you want to do, and where do you? I guess what's your goal with the promoting?
Well, I got June 15th next week. That's my first one. Sonny Conso's the main event. He's 12-0. Then I have the young kid. The first kid I signed, Juan Rivera, he's 1-0. And then I have another kid, Miguel Roman, he's 4-0. So those are the main three guys that I'm representing on the card. Sonny Conso's not signed with me, but I'm promoting this fight for him. And then it's gonna be in Atlantic City Boardwalk Hall. And then we're doing another one July 20th in Philly. And hopefully one in September, one in December. So we're trying to do four fights, in 6 months.
Good stuff, man. That's good to hear. And you've done very well for yourself, especially with the real estate stuff. I feel like you could like do courses to fighters and teach them to do real estate
It's
investing.
not easy. It's not easy. I'll tell you that much. It's easier to fight and make a couple million in one fight.
Oh way, it's easier to take punches in the face than real estate.
Yeah, because well, you say it like that because like when I say it like as a boxer, it's because I know what I could do.
Yeah,
So I don't look at it like I'm gonna take hits to the face, and I don't look at it like it's dangerous because I've been doing this since I was a kid. But if you can make a couple $1 million in one night, real estate's a long-term game. Some people might not have the cash, so you have to go get a loan, and then you have to pay it off. I don't know, for 7 years, then refinance, get the money. You keep using the bank money. So the real estate is slow money, but it's guaranteed money. But it is a lot of headaches. You got the wear and tear. You got to deal with the tenants. You got to pay the taxes, the insurance. So it's an upkeep. So sometimes you might not even make money 1 month because the roof might be leaking. Say your rent is 10 grand. Now you got to spend 10 grand fixing the roof. So if you're not structured right in the real estate game, then it's a pain in the ass. It's not really simple. It's only simple when you sell it and you had it for a long time and you weather the storm and you get that big check and then you go buy something else. But it is the safest.
yeah, it's always going to go up. That's for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially here in California, it seems like everything's going up. Oh my God.
Yeah, I don't see why anybody would want to live in California if you got money, unless the networking is crazy. The taxes are crazy over there.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Well, I'm one who lives in California. I think it's the weather, the people, and the food that keep me over here. That I've lived here my whole life, but no, you are right.
But
The price of housing is freaking insane over here.
yes, it's wild.
Hey, Danny, a few more fan questions for you. One of them is with Errol Spence moving to 154, has this fight with Fundora. Are you eyeing that potential fight?
Definitely. I would love to fight Errol Spence in a rematch. I think I want to avenge at least one of my losses. You know, before this is all said and done. Like if I could get a rematch from one of those guys and beat him, and then come back and fight another fight, that would be like great for me.
Which rematch do you want more? Thurman or Spence?
Definitely Thurman.
Yeah. Why,
I,
why Thurman more than
that was like
Spence?
such a close. That was like a close fight, and it just the build up and everything was crazy. I just feel like that's more like a historic fight. You know, he was the champion, I was the champion. Barclays Center, 16,500 people. It was like a big build up.
Yeah. Would you make
I
of?
feel like me and Spence. I feel
Yeah.
like me and Spence like respected each other. Like I didn't feel like during the heat of the moment, like the build up, that it was like bad blood. I just knew it was me versus him. That was it. But me and Thurman, I felt like we really had bad blood. Like it was just like it was a real fight. You know what I mean? I'm not saying the Spence fight wasn't a real fight, but it just felt different.
Hmm. Like a little
It just
extra.
felt like when I fought Amir Khan. When
Yeah.
I fought Amir Khan, it was bad blood. It was like a real fight. You know that was going to be a real fight. You know what I mean?
Mm.
It's just something you feel as a fighter.
Mm. Yeah. What'd you make of Keith getting injured again and not be able to fight that fight against Tim Tszyu?
High inactivity. You know, it's hard to do nothing and just go in there and turn up. That's pretty much it. You know, because even when I was training, I was getting little injuries here and there. I'm like, this never happens to me. You
Mm.
know, so that's why I think it's very important that you got to do something in between fights to keep your muscles strong and your body strong, because you can't go from doing nothing to turning up. Your body's not going to let you um perform at that level that you used to perform at. That's why you got to keep your muscles tight, your body tight. You can't get too overweight, and you got to try to still live as a fighter.
Is the plan? I know you wanted to have this fight at 160 because of your goal of the divisions to be world champ against Laura, but is like 60 the home, or like that's just kind of like you want to test it, but really 154 is where you feel comfortable?
No, I'm definitely 154.
Yeah.
I just checked my weight right now. For some reason, I just stepped on the scale. I was like 168 with my clothes on.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, no lie.
Oh,
I
wow.
mean, I got shorts on and sneakers there, so I'm not a middleweight. I knew that for sure.
Yeah.
But Laura's not the biggest guy, so that's why I like that fight for me.
Mm. Yeah, 154 is getting real interesting now. You got Crawford going into the division. He's fighting Madrimov, Spence and Fundura. You got Tim Tszyu. You got Virgil Ortiz. A lot of options there.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the sky's the limit. The hardest part is getting back in there.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you got to get in there.
Hey, I could take 2 years off, and these guys still won't have my resume. Put it
Yeah.
that way.
You know, who do you like the most in that division right now?
At 154,
Yeah.
like as a fighter, or just like
Yeah,
person.
just as a fan, as an observer, as you know, just looking at and watching them fight.
154. There's a couple guys that I like. That I'm interested to see like the future. Like, I would like to see Virgil Ortiz's future.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah, I like because he's I don't know. I mean, he's a young guy. He's hungry, so I like to see younger guys like that. You know what I mean? Fundora, I think he's good. He's good. I don't think he has the style to last though.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? But I like Tim Tszyu. I still like him. Think, and then Crawford been around for a while, so definitely a good division. Sure. You still got guys like Brian Castano and things like that. So it's a lot of people on that weight class. It just got to be um just timing.
Yeah, and you got guys like Ryan Garcia calling out Errol Spence at 154 pounds.
Yeah, I mean that's a good fight. That's a money fight. It's a good fight.
That's a huge
Texas,
fight.
big. Yeah.
What because you mentioned it earlier with the mental health issues that you had. Ryan's had a long history of that stuff. What do you make of everything that's been going on with Ryan And on top of that, the results of what happened with him and Haney with the positive drug test.
I don't know. That's a lot. But I know the mental health stuff is like it's just pressure. He's pressure. There's a lot of pressure on it. You got a lot of fame, you're making a lot of money. That's what comes with it. It's hard to stay strong every day. I'll tell you that much. For you in them shoes. So, but as far as all the other stuff and the drug tests and all that stuff, I really don't know. But I know a lot of people don't know that when you do VADA and you do anti-doping, a lot of fans don't know this is that when I fought Eric Morales in 2012, he tested positive the night before the fight for steroids. We did, I believe it was anti-doping, U.S. anti-doping. They came, they told me, Danny, tested positive. So we go down, the commissioner gets in. The commissioner says, that's in between you and him to figure it out the fight's going on. We have nothing to do with that. So when you do a test, it has nothing to do with the commissioner. It's a contract between you and him. So the commissioner can't stop the fight. So what are you going to do? Say, oh, you just know you're taking the test just to know if he's on it or not, because they're not going to stop the fight. It's really on you. So basically it's for no reason. What are you going to say? No, I'm not going to fight him the night before the fight. You probably make millions of dollars. What are you going to do? It's just, basically you're just doing it to see if he's on it or not. That's it. Because the commissioner only does the the urine test.
Mm-hmm.
They only do the urine test. So the reason why you're doing the anti-doping Nevada is because it's blood and urine. So it finds more steroids. It could find the steroids in the blood. But if they find out, only if it's 8 weeks before they'll stop it, because there's no fight. There's no fight. It was 8 weeks. If they find the first couple samples that you're positive, then you can stop the fight because it's 8 weeks, so you get a new opponent. But if it's a week before the fight or 2 days before the fight, it's pointless. They're not going to stop the fight that's in between you and the other guy. You're going to stay with a loss in your record, and the world goes on.
Yeah, a lot of people
don't know that. A lot of people don't know that.
Yeah, a lot of people were saying like, hey, if he tested positive that Friday and Saturday for, trace amounts, like why did the fight go through? And why did it take so long for the results to come by? But it takes a while for the results to come in, right?
Well, if he tested positive the week of the fight, it's because the sample he did before the week, like the week of probably like a month before it came in, whatever. So that's why they got it before. You just don't do it the night before the fight and then you come the next day. No, it was like a couple weeks before. So that's what happens.
Yeah, your instance with Eric was crazy, man. Because like even then I was surprised the fight went through, and like with like Devin.
The commissioner said, look, that's up to you guys to figure out.
That's so wild to me. You would think the commissioner would be like, nah, we're good. Like
they don't have nothing to do with that.
Yeah.
That's a contract between you and the other guy. Were you going to say no the night before the fight? And I'm pretty sure Devin Haney thought that he was going to beat him anyway. He thought he was better than him. He just simply thought that's why he fought him, because he thought he was better. He thought he was going to go in and just outbox him and beat him. He didn't think that was going to be like that.
Yeah, but then like, on the flip side,
that's why
like look what happened to Devin. That's the other side of the argument is like that's why that's in place, right? Like because like look at the damage. Ryan says like, yo, what happened was going to happen. What they found in me was no competitive edge, this trace amount from a contaminated supplement. But on the Haney side, they're like, yo, when you fight us, you had something. You failed to test. That said that.
Yeah, but Ryan didn't look like he was throwing a million punches around. He still looked like he looked like a fighter who wasn't on steroids to me. Because he did take rounds off. He did take his time. He was hurting him, but he's a hard hitter. You know what I mean? So I just think Ryan they had a history. They were 3-3. And Ryan in his head already knew he could beat him because he beat him before. And boxing's all mental. If you know you could beat somebody already, then you don't care. You don't respect them. And that's all it is.
Yeah, I think that played a big part. Like him knowing that, yo, I can hurt Devin. He's been hurt before by guys smaller than me that don't hit as hard as me. And like you mentioned, he had that mentally in his mind, like, I'm just going to pressure him. But because of everything that came out, I guess, that it puts a counter argument, especially if you're, part of Devin's team or Team Haney.
I mean, there's always going to be something. There's always going to be something. There's always going to be some type of excuse. No matter who it is. I'm not saying them. I'm just saying anytime somebody loses, I was sick, it was a bad day, anything. That's just how it is. Feel me? Nobody except losing. Especially your first loss.
Got a few more for you, Danny, as we're gonna go and transition to wrapping this up. These will just be quick questions. Miguel Del 1030 asks you, because you're from Philly, who would you rather pick, Iverson or Barkley?
I'm Iverson all day, every day. My childhood hero.
Michael Vick or Donovan McNabb?
I'm gonna go with Michael Vick. He used to be my neighbor in Florida.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he lived right down the street from me.
Oh, how random is that?
Yep. He lived right. I jogged past his house every day.
Would you guys hang out?
I went to his house a few times. Not that one. He lived in a different one, and I went over a few times. But when he moved down the street, I never went to his house.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
How is he in real life?
Coolest guy in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, great guy. Family man. Him and his wife got kids. Regular family man. That's it.
That's cool to hear, man. It's always cool to hear when these athletes that you only see on TV, like you hear from other people, like, oh no, he's really down to earth. He's just a normal guy and everything like that. Because right. you don't get to interact with them. Like us normal people don't get to interact with these guys.
Right.
All right, Canelo or Benavidez, Danny, give us your breakdown on that situation, on that fight. What's happening? What does DSG think of that fight not happening yet?
I just feel like he's in the driver's seat, so he can really do. A lot of people don't understand is like he can really do what he wants. He's in the Floyd Mayweather position where he can. I know people don't want to hear that. A lot of people don't want to hear that, and they just want to see the best fighting the best. But he's in the driver's seat. He's gonna do what he wants, and that's all it comes down to. I mean, would I love to see the fight? Yeah, but if it don't happen, I wouldn't care any. I really wouldn't care. I would like to see them Benavidez build his own legacy and Canelo go out as he is as a legend. So um that's pretty much how I feel about that fight.
If they do fight, who do you favor?
If they do fight,
yeah,
who do I favor? That's a good fight, man. I ain't gonna lie. That's a good fight. I can see both of them beating each other.
Yeah.
I definitely don't think Canelo is running though.
No?
No, because I watched both of them fight, and I think Benavidez could beat him, but I also feel like Canelo could beat Benavidez. That's how I feel.
A lot of people say, Benavidez is just too big for Canelo, too active, throws too many punches. On the flip side, I've also heard people say Canelo's too smart for David. He's going to counter him. There's so many opportunities there for Canelo to catch and shoot against Benavidez. What do you see there?
I mean, I can see something like that, but fighting Benavidez is a dangerous fight because he's so hungry. He's the type of guy you gotta let him make a few more millions so you can slow down a little bit. You know what I mean? Get a little comfortable. You don't want to fight him right now. He's too hungry. It's hard to beat a hungry fighter. Hard.
Let him win a couple more meals, like you mentioned. Get some pajamas so that the fire gets down a little bit.
Right.
On a final note, Danny, one last question here for you. What is one fighter who's now retired but was active when you were active, who you wish you could have shared the ring with?
Either Floyd or Pacquiao.
Damn, you were so close with Manny.
Yeah, I know. That would have been great. You know,
Yeah. Well, with him coming back, maybe you'll get that chance. Is there any chance you can make 47?
yeah, but I just don't think I'll be strong as I used to be yet. At this
Yeah.
point, I feel like it'll hurt me. Like it'll make me weak.
Yeah,
You know what I
you
mean?
don't want to. I don't.
Yeah.
The older you get, the harder these weight cuts are, and like, I don't know. Do you ever like think of that? Like, man, I don't want to put like myself through that again. Like, no way, nah, I'm not gonna cut. Like, I want to eat. I like to eat. I don't want to
I mean,
not
I
eat
like. I
anything
mean,
the
I'm
day
always gonna be
before.
disciplined, but it is different now. It's hard because your body gets bigger. You build more muscle. You get older. Like your metabolism slows down. So I don't want to do nothing that's gonna hurt me. You know. So that's wise. Like you gotta be. You're supposed to move up with age.
No, yeah, very, very true. Danny, thank you, man, for the time. It's always great catching up with you. I'm glad to hear that your dad's doing better. You have the show coming up this weekend, but on a final note, let fans know what's the plan. They want to see you back. Give them some last words on what's going on.
You know, for me, I'm just staying ready, staying mentally, physically, spiritually strong. As a fighter. I don't have nothing lined up. I would love to come back soon, and hopefully I will come back and fight this year. But for now, June 15th, I'm doing my own promotion, Swift Promotions, and that's the next for me. Next week is Swift Promotions, my first promotional fight with Sonny Conto is the main event. Juan Rivera, Miguel Roman, and that's what I'm looking forward to right now.
And that's happening where, Danny?
The Atlantic City Boardwalk Hall,
There you go.
June 15th. June 15th.
There you go. If you're local to Atlantic City, New Jersey, go ahead and check out Danny's show. Danny, thank you for the time, brother. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Appreciate it.